Hey guys, I'm here in Maya in the scene that we started the other day in class. You can see that I have my reference over here and over here. And this geometry is something that I've just made pretty quickly, and I've colored with a couple different tones to indicate the path that we're going to be taking to end up generating the mask. We started the eye, we come up to the top of the nose, we go down the bridge of the nose, we go over the nostril, then we continue down the face and create the uh, edge rings for the lips, and then we come back up to the nostril and we come down and we make this fold that goes down the side of the mouth, and then we start to create geometry that comes back this way, and we would connect it back to the top of the face at that point. This area that comes up from the top is just extrusions from the kind of underside of the eyebrow. Okay, well, let's get going. Okay, and one thing I'll mention before getting going is this is just a suggestion. If you find a way that you want to model that's different than this, that's totally cool. These are just some kind of guidelines to maybe help you get going if it feels like it's you don't know where to start. All right, so I'll go ahead and hide this face and get going on making some new geometry. So I'll reveal my reference, and I have my eyeball set up in the middle. I've got my right plane and my back plane. I'm going to change the material, unselect the reference just here for a second, so that I can make it a little bit more transparent. So in the attribute editor, I'll come over to transparency and dial it up so that I can see through to my reference planes back there. Make it a little more transparent. Okay, great. So at this point, I actually have interactive creation turned on, just for funsies, I guess. So I'll hit the plane, and in the middle of my eyeball, hold shift and drag out a quad, and then rotate it so that the points, so that we're at a more of a diagonal. Okay, now at this point I want to assign my new geometry to, oop, geez, I need to switch my layer back to reference. There we go. I want to assign this to the reference material so that I can see through it. Mine's called temporary material, and I can see through it. All right, I'll go ahead and turn on vertex mode and start moving things around. So I've highlighted everything, and then in my side view I'll push it all the way to the front of the eyeball so that I can grab this edge, pull it back to here in my side view, and in my top view I'll try and line that up, line this up with here. It looks like my eyeball has actually retained some material that I didn't want it to, so I'll make sure that the whole thing is assigned to temporary material so that it's see-through. All right, now we're in business. Okay, so we got that vertex in place and that vertex in place. Okay, so I've got the corners and the tops kind of lined up in the front view. I've got the corner lined up here in the side view, and using the top view I can actually kind of indicate or guess about where on the eyeball this would be. So now at this point I want to add in some more edges so that I can have more control over this plane. So I'll cut 2 times on that side, 2 times on this side, and then connect those. So if at any time during the video you just want to pause real quick and add in the geometry that you need to and then resume the video, that's usually a pretty good strategy. All right, so I'll, here in the top view, kind of line up along the eyeball where things would go, and then in the front view, and I'll line things up again, giving it more of the shape, top and the bottom of the eye. And you can see as I'm working that actually things aren't totally lining up between the side and the front. That's okay. These are simply referenced to give me an idea of where I want to go. So just because this point here looks like it's about in the corner of the eyeball, and right here maybe it's a little bit off, that's fine. This sphere is a very helpful reference for guiding where the eyeball goes, or the eyeball shape has, or what the eyeball shape should be. So in the end, it'll probably end up getting tweaked anyway. So this is just for jumping off and getting going. Okay. So now at this point, I want to extrude out by just double clicking the edge and highlighting the entire surrounding area. And then when you hit extrude, I just switched immediately over to the scale tool, and then I just will scale out a little bit. And then I will switch to vertexes and back to the move tool and just start to position each of these around. And where I'll try and line things up is kind of here, the kind of fold underneath of the, or at the top of the eyeball is kind of my reference that I'm trying to hit here. So get that, get there. And then in the bottom of the eyeball, just trying to kind of guess about where the bottom eyelid might open up if I were to get like really, really surprised. You know, this might be about as far as my eyeball could possibly open. And then I just want to check and see about where I'm at here with these side vertexes, and it looks pretty good from the top here. I think I'm doing all right. Yeah, okay. And then I'll do the same process again of just extruding and scaling out and repositioning the vertexes, this time kind of right underneath of the eyebrow. And then these ones on the bottom, I'll try and put kind of on the bottom of what would be kind of the bone at the bottom of your eye. I think it's called like the orbital bone. All right. This one underneath there. This guy maybe up there. Push that over a little bit. Okay, now at this point we'll go up and over the bridge of the nose. So I'll make a new edge selection, which is just these two, and I'll hit extrude, switch to the move tool, push it over, and switch to the scale tool and scale in just in the one direction to flatten it, just so that it's a little bit easier, or they're more lined up. So then switching back to the move tool, you can actually extrude just by hitting Control E. So I'll do that instead of hitting this button each time, and just to go a little bit faster. So that I've made one extrusion, and this is my second extrusion. I'll make sure to scale that so that it's totally flat. And then holding X, I'll drag over. So this is now right in the middle of my scene. So now from the side view, because my edge is highlighted, if I pull forward here, I'm going to line up these vertexes with the bridge of my nose, and then grab the next set of vertexes, pull those forward, and follow suit. Okay. And so at any time you can kind of check in your perspective view to see how things are looking. And I might actually even pull these forward a little bit more. There you go, to get the nose to start to be a little flatter. And so at this point, I'm going to start to run down the bridge of the nose. And so the only edge that I'll really need at this point is this one on the bottom. So hitting Control E and then switching right back to the move tool, I'll go down, shift it in place, and then repeat. Control E, switch to the move tool, shift it down, Control E, switch to the move tool. So now is kind of where I'm starting to pay attention. What I want is an edge kind of, if you think about the nose, it kind of has like a little bit of a ball, or that's kind of how I think about it. There's kind of the top of the ball, so that's why I'll put an edge. Then I'll extrude to put one in the middle here. And I'm going to go to my tool settings here. It looks like I'm switched to object. Make sure that it's set to world so that I can just rotate things and make it a little bit easier. Okay, so that's like flat now. And then I'll extrude one last time for the bottom. So right now we're not super concerned with getting too much geometry going. We can keep adding in stuff to make things look a little bit better. And actually, now that I think about it, I might as well. I don't have to worry about it too much. So I'll switch back to my multi-cut tool, hold Control, or actually, I'll just drag in my view like that, drag in my view like that. Grab these verts, push them here and here. Cool. So now, the area that I want to go across, or actually, before I move on from the bridge of the nose, I'll go ahead and position these verts maybe in a little bit better place, matching them up with what I feel like is following kind of this shape of this ball area on the front of the nose. All right, so now I'm going to switch back to edge, select these two. Actually, no, that's wrong. Select these two, and then extrude to the right. Switch over to vertex, position them in the front view, grab them, and then pull them all the way to the side. Position them in the side view. Great. So I'm starting to get there. Now that I'm looking at things, I actually think I want to drag out one more edge from here to kind of more encompass my entire schnoz, or my nostril. Okay, so I've hit extrude, drag it over, switch back to vertex mode, and then here I'll target weld that one to that one, and then just highlight this vertex and put it in place to kind of surround that. Okay, so at this point I want to keep going down and create some edge rings around the lips. The two important areas for edge rings to really make sure that you have edge rings on your face, or loops on your face, is around your eye and around your mouth. This makes it way easier to model and animate and basically do everything. If you just had a straight grid pattern going over your lips, it'd make it really hard in the future. So I highly recommend creating that formation and working from there. Okay, so I've selected edge, go here, extrude, pull it straight down to the top of the lip, go back to vertex mode, position that one kind of at the top of the point of what I think might be my lip, extrude, pull it down to the middle of the lip, flatten it, extrude, pull it down to the bottom of my lip, select these two edges, extrude, move it all the way to the corner, scale it in, put it there. Okay, then switching to the multi-cut, I'll add in two divisions, one right here, one right here. Switch back to vertexes, come into my side view and start to position things. So I'll pull it down just a little bit. That. Pull these all the way to the corner of the lip. Pull these a little bit closer. And pull these about right there. Then grabbing my middle verts, pull them straight backwards, this one too. So they're kind of getting a bit more of a mouth shape. And I should mention that the goal of this right now is to create a general framework for the face that then we're going to come back and add plenty more geometry so that we're really matching or creating the details that we want that give our face a unique look. So I'm not super concerned about matching everything right now or making sure that everything lines up just yet. But what I am concerned with is blocking out these areas like the eye, the nose, the mouth, the cheek, and the jaw. Okay, so with that being said, I will delete this face actually, double click this edge, and then deselect these two edges and extrude out. Kind of to the corner of where you can see here is kind of the edge of the corner of my mouth. Pull these vertexes back in place. Have these come out. Position these bottom of where my lips could open up and kind of expose my bottom teeth. Snap that to the middle. Then make sure to come into your side view and make sure that things are lining up on the side of the face too. So pull those back in place, pull that, pull that. So you can see the mouth is somewhat taking shape. It's looking half decent. Okay. So at this point, I would weld these two verts back together. So attach that one there, that one there. Move these verts back down to the bottom. Okay. I'll pull this actually down to the corner, bottom corner of my nose. That, so that then I can do a quick bridge operation to sew things together. If I highlight these two edges and I come over here to bridge and I hit that, it'll connect them back together. Cool. This vertex, push it up. That one out. Pull forward. Okay, cool. So then the next formation that we'll want to make sure is working starts at the corner of the nose and shoots down kind of in a straight line so that it connects. This is, I think, called the nasal labial fold. Kind of a weird name. But if we start our run by grabbing this edge right on the corner of the nose and extruding straight sideways, we can then grab the bottom of it and extrude down. And so we'll want one division, two divisions. So keep going. That. Corner, do another one. Extrude again. And one last one for now. Okay. And then in the side view, you want to come in and reposition things again. So if you can tell, there's a lot of the same process over and over. But just at different parts of the face. And you may end up redoing parts of things several times just because you may have missed in one view repositioning something, or you might have missed extruding something in a certain view. So I'll pull these back. So you can see it's starting to look a little bit like there might be a face there. Looks a little weird. Pull these back forward. Okay. Cool. So we've got the eye, the bridge of the nose, around the mouth, and then now down here around the nasal labial fold. All right. Try not to say that too many times. Cool. So now that we have that, basically finishing this up is just reconnecting these zones that we've generated by and making sure to not create triangles. And the way that you're going to do that is just by being aware of where your edges, where you might need to insert more or insert more kind of cuts. So here I can see that maybe I need to add in here another edge, because when I do that, I can actually bridge this one to this one, and now I've got an easier time trying to connect things. So then I'll do the same thing there. I select this edge and this edge, bridge, and you can do multiple at the same time. So there's 3 on this side, 3 on this side. You can bridge all of those together. And so now that you've done that, you've closed in your geometry. You're getting closer. With these new edges, you will just want to make sure to go in, look at it from the multiple viewports that you have. At this point, I would recommend leaving up quad view, because you'll be able to catch a lot of kind of funny geometry that you might not if you only have 1 or 2 viewports active. The other cool thing is, so with formations like this, which is our edge ring, when you add in a multi-cut, it loops around like that. And just like with your eye too. And you actually don't need to keep, or I would recommend deleting the middle part of the eye here, because you can come in, add in an edge ring right kind of close to the edge of the eye, and then double click it, and you can drag it straight backwards. And so that really starts to kind of give the indication that here we've got our eyelid. Well, cool. So at this point, it really is just kind of a little bit of tedious work where you come in, you add, additional geometry like that. You would maybe keep extruding certain parts, pull it down, and you would probably do even quite a bit of target welding to get things stitched back together where you want. Well, cool. All right. In the next video, I'll probably start at the point that I'm at with this head, and finish up the side of the head, the top as it goes around, and then the neck. One of the last things that we'll probably tackle is an ear, simply because it is pretty tricky. Okay, well, thanks a lot, and I hope you guys have some success, and I will see you guys tomorrow.